I would say just a little bit about the notion of fractals generally, because this word has been tossed about here much, and it's important to understand it. Fractals are self-similar curves. That means objects made of tiny versions of themselves. That's all it really means. And they can be quite simple mathematical objects, such as a circle. The curve of a circle is curved in the same way, no matter how large or small a portion of it you look at. It has this fractal quality. Most fractals are very complex. A common example of a fractal in nature is a fern or a feather. You must have noticed how a fern is made up of little fern-like structures, which are made up of still smaller fern-like structures that coming off of veins. And some ferns have 4 or 5 levels of these little ferns declining. Until fairly recently, these kind of curves, which were really discovered and described in the late 19th century, were pretty much ignored. They were called pathological curves. The reason being that it was felt that their mathematics was so complicated that their end states couldn't be calculated, and so they were called pathological. What this all changed with the invention of computers, because there are not problems so complicated that computers can't solve them. So suddenly the pathological curves, which before had been very hard to visualize at all, it became possible to create animated computer graphic movies of these things. And what was amazing about them was some families of these curves looked like river deltas, nerve branchings, tree lines, coastlines, island chains. There was an astonishing tendency for some families of these curves to look like natural objects. And at first nobody knew exactly what to do with this. Immediately natural scientists grabbed onto these things to describe aspects of nature that had been previously outside the realm of calculation, because you can perform a certain kind of almost magic with these things. What made them very exciting to me was when you give them to a good computer and it generates these things for you, they look more like hallucinations than any art of the Huichol or the Huitoto. I mean, these things look like hallucinations. Well, so that's very suggestive, because you think, these mathematical objects look like hallucinations. Do hallucinations look like these mathematical objects because the nervous system is organized this way, and we're somehow getting an organizational insight into how either the physical matter is arranged or how the data is being handled. And this may be the key. If language turns out to be fractal, well then this is the key to understanding learning, memory. It sort of explains how we can be in the world, because what it's saying is, if you find out about this square yard of ground, you're in a much better position to deal with all other square yards of ground.